The first day at a new school is hard enough, but for shy 12-year-old Emma, it quickly turned into a nightmare. As she walked down the crowded hallway, trying to blend in, a group of notorious bullies spotted her. Whispers turned into laughter, and before she could even react, they grabbed the hem of her dress and tore it right in front of everyone. Her face burned with embarrassment, and tears threatened to spill. The hallway felt like it was closing in, every pair of eyes watching, some smirking, some unsure how to help. Emma froze, wishing she could disappear. Just when it seemed the bullies had complete control, a calm, commanding voice cut through the chaos. A man stepped into the hallway, his presence impossible to ignore. He was tall, solid, with an air of confidence that made even the loudest voices falter. Rumors had floated around the school about him, but no one had ever seen him intervene in anything until now. The bullies suddenly went silent, their smirks replaced by uneasy glances. Emma looked up, heart pounding, wondering who this stranger was and what he was going to do next. The tension hung in the air, and for a moment, no one moved. What happened next would change everything. The man's eyes scanned the hallway with sharp precision, and even from a distance, Emma could feel the weight of his presence. There was something about him that didn't belong in a middle school hallway, something trained, disciplined, almost impossible to ignore. Whispers spread among the students. Is that a Navy SEAL? Some shook their heads, unsure if it was true, but no one dared challenge him. Emma tried to pull her torn dress together, her hands trembling, while the bullies shifted nervously, realizing their usual tactics wouldn't work here. The tallest one, Jake, swallowed hard, his confidence slipping like sand through fingers. Emma's mind raced. How could someone so strong just appear at the perfect moment? Was it luck, or did he know something about them? The man's gaze lingered for a moment on Emma, and she felt a strange mix of fear and safety. He wasn't smiling, but there was no anger either, just a quiet authority that demanded respect. The bell rang in the distance, but time seemed to stretch, the moment suspended between confrontation and resolution. No one moved, waiting, watching, wondering what this Navy SEAL would do next. Emma's heartbeat pounded in her ears, and she realized this was just the beginning. Whatever happened next could change her life and the bullies forever. Jake shifted uneasily, glancing at his friends, who were now silent for the first time in weeks. Their usual teasing power had evaporated in the presence of this stranger, and it made them feel Emma could hardly believe her luck, but at the same time, a knot of anxiety grew in her stomach. Who was this man really, and why had he chosen her moment to intervene? From the back of the hallway, some students whispered about past rumors, stories of a former Navy SEAL moving quietly through the town, helping in situations where kids were bullied or in danger. Emma wondered if he'd been watching the school for a while, or if it was just coincidence that he appeared now. The tension wasn't just between her and the bullies, it spread through the entire crowd, curiosity mixing with fear. Jake's voice finally broke the silence, small and unsure. Who are you?" he asked, trying to sound braver than he felt. The man didn't answer immediately. Instead, he stepped closer, his gaze steady, and Emma noticed the calm control in his movements, the kind of control that only came from years of discipline and training. Meanwhile, Emma's mind raced, thinking about her first week, the loneliness she had tried to hide, and the chance this moment might be her turning point. Yet, the questions loomed larger than the answers. What would happen if the bullies pushed back? And why did it feel like the man's arrival had opened a door to something far bigger than a ripped dress? The hallway felt electric, every student holding their breath as the man took another step forward. Jake's friends shifted nervously, the bravado they'd clung to for weeks evaporating under the weight of his presence. Emma could feel her chest tighten, not from fear alone, but from the strange mix of hope and anxiety swirling inside her. The Navy SEAL's eyes locked on Jake, and for a moment, it was like the world had narrowed down to just the two of them. Every smirk, every whispered insult from earlier seemed meaningless now. The bullies could feel it too. Their laughter was gone, replaced by a nervous energy that made even the toughest among them fidget. Emma noticed the subtle way the man's stance radiated authority, his calm confidence like a wall against the chaos. Whispers spread across the hallway. Some students pulled out their phones, but no one dared move closer. Everyone sensed something was about to happen, something that could change the balance of power at the school forever. Emma's heart raced as she clutched her torn dress, unsure whether to be terrified or relieved. Jake finally took a step forward, his voice shaky but defiant. "You can't just—" He stopped, the words catching in his throat. The man tilted his head slightly, and the silence that followed was heavier than any scream. Time seemed to stretch, every second dragging, as if the hallway itself was holding its breath, waiting for what would happen next. Before anyone could react, the sound of footsteps echoed down the hallway from the other end, faster, sharper, and heavier than before. Another figure appeared, and this time it wasn't just any student or teacher, it was someone the entire school knew all too well. The principal, flanked by security guards. The tension in the hallway doubled instantly. Whispers spread like wildfire. "What's happening? Why is the principal here?" Emma's stomach twisted. She hadn't expected anyone else to get involved, and now the balance of power was shifting again. The bullies, sensing backup, tried to regain some control, but their unease was obvious. Jake's friends looked like they wanted to run, yet their feet were glued to the floor. The Navy SEAL remained calm, but Emma noticed a flicker of recognition in his eyes when he saw the principal. Something about the way he nodded subtly made her wonder if there was a deeper connection. Suddenly, the principal's voice cut through the tense air. "Everyone, stand back. This situation is being taken seriously." The words seemed to hang between the students, amplifying the chaos. Emma realized that this wasn't just about a torn dress anymore, it had escalated into something far bigger. Secrets, authority, and hidden histories were all colliding in the hallway, and the next move could change everything. Emma's heart pounded knowing the climax was closer than ever, but unsure who would act first, or how far the consequences would reach. The hallway was tense as the principal stepped closer, but before he could say more, the Navy SEAL raised a hand, his voice calm yet commanding. "Let's settle this without anyone getting hurt," he said, locking eyes with Jake. There was no anger, just a quiet authority that left no room for argument. The bullies froze, realizing for the first time that their actions had real consequences. Emma took a shaky breath, feeling a sense of relief wash over her. But the tension wasn't gone, it had only shifted then. In a surprising move, the Navy SEAL knelt beside Emma and whispered, "You don't have to be afraid. Stand tall." His words, small yet powerful, gave her courage she hadn't known she had. With trembling hands, she straightened her dress and looked directly at Jake. "It's over," she said, her voice soft but firm. The bullies' smirks faltered, and one by one, they muttered apologies, their arrogance replaced by genuine shame. Just as the hallway seemed to calm, the principal stepped forward, holding a sealed envelope. "There's more to this than just bullying," he announced. The Navy SEAL's eyes widened subtly, and Emma realized the torn dress had been the spark, but the real story was far bigger than anyone imagined. A secret about the school, long buried, was about to come to light, leaving everyone in stunned silence. Emma's relief was tempered with curiosity. The hallway felt electric again, but this time, the suspense wasn't about fear, it was about what would happen next. The principal carefully opened the envelope, revealing documents that explained years of unresolved issues at the school, instances of bullying, neglected complaints, and a plan to finally address them. The Navy SEAL, whose real name Emma now learned was Marcus, had been volunteering quietly to ensure the safety of students who were often overlooked. His presence wasn't just coincidence. He had been tracking patterns and incidents that led him to intervene at the exact right moment. Emma felt a surge of gratitude and newfound confidence. The bullies, having faced both authority and the silent strength of Marcus, were genuinely remorseful. They were given guidance and support to understand the impact of their actions. And slowly, the school began to feel safer for everyone. Emma realized that courage didn't always mean fighting, it could mean standing tall, asking for help, and facing challenges even when scared. As the day ended, students whispered about what had happened, but for Emma, the lesson was clear. Being new and shy didn't make her powerless. Sometimes, the smallest voices could spark the biggest change. Marcus quietly left the school, a mysterious protector who had changed her life forever. Emma smiled, knowing she would never forget the day bullies were silenced, and bravery took center stage. The school's hallways felt lighter, filled with hope, courage, and the promise of a safer, kinder environment for everyone.